talked about it now, I'm sorry we didn't discuss this. Not to rush this whole section, because it's natural. And I thought, I was talking with Jaime, and I said, it seems natural to rush there, but it's not that interesting maybe to hold back. And both Jaime and Michael thought it'd be wonderful to try it once. Just hold the tempo.
Okay.
Right, as long as we've stopped, then I don't mind starting from the beginning until we have the totality. 1, 2. Pardon?
I was just going to say that seemed a good idea.
All right. Jaime, at 2. Be careful. Don't come 1, 2.
I think sextets are incredibly difficult to play because sometimes you have to be part of an orchestra, sometimes you're a soloist, sometimes you have to play under somebody, sometimes you have to be part of a group sound, and to be able to be unbelievably aware of everything that's going on, to have a picture of the whole, and to know exactly what your role is at any one moment is very difficult.
Got slower right at the pianissimo, like 2 and 3 before the pianissimo was a little faster than all of a sudden.
Did it get slower or did it not get faster?
Just right on it.
Got a little bit slower.
Okay.
Let's not
All right,
do
so,
that.
all right.
That's fine, but
All right.
this sounds...
First, we're trying to have a unity. Then we're trying to see, all right, what are we going to do with this incredible piece of music? Most of the time, there was just very little to discuss. But when there are differences of opinion, then that's when the work comes in. And we can get very philosophical and very musicological and all that. But in the final analysis, you pick up the instrument and you say, here, this is what I mean.
Not in 2 and not together. Otherwise, one doesn't
There's a lot of work for the 2 cellos that are in 3rds or 6ths where we have the same melody, embellishing one another, and we tried always to coordinate and match vibrato. We always were striving for the same colors, not just blue, but let's say turquoise, and not just orange, but salmon. The same shadings of phrasings, the bows being our voice and the left hand being our words. And that's really what we rehearsed so long and arduously for. I like that.
That was very good and very...
Am I the only one who thinks or feels still, every time we go back to the schedule, it's a teeny bit faster than
It definitely
the
is. It definitely is.
Yeah,
We never go back to the original thing, yeah.
It's hard for me to find.
Yeah, I know, it's very hard because we
We'll try it once more. I want to point out something which I don't like, but he wrote it that way. He writes a fortissimo in both animatos, the beginning of it, and it's exceedingly ugly.
Too much.
But we should make a sort of a gesture in his direction without overdoing it.
We know enough in quartet playing to get out of each other's way whenever there is something that's less than primary importance. In sextet playing, we even have to be more careful. We have to, in effect, improve on the dynamics of the composers. Brahms would mark forte, and he would intend that everybody play forte, and we know that that can't be done. We have to be extra careful to keep the air clear and allow every principal voice to emerge without having to struggle.
I think the fiddle should play a little bit softer.
And you guys even more, I think.
But you know what it sounds like when we play too loud.
Yeah.
How about don't worry about it so much in that little way?
Oh, we're playing pretty loud there. I feel like I'm...
What I've discovered from working with Mrs. Stern is that the music integrity is the priority. Even during the recording session, if he wasn't happy with a set approach, he was perfectly willing to abandon the previous takes and just plunge into a new interpretation, even though that meant sacrificing the previous hour or so of precious recording time.
I want to try something a little. I don't know.
No, this is a Rehearsal. That's what it is.
The restaurant?
Look, could we try something at bar? Can we start at bar 33 in the scherzo itself, and jump to the più animato, the coda?
I look at a piece of music now, I look at the architecture, and I no longer look at the tiny details because I realize it's the overall structure and the honesty in which you can bring those structure to your audience. Those are the most important parts for me.
No, I still feel that sometimes that the last two chords, the second of the chord comes in yata-da-da. That somehow it's not exactly set. It's not, and the two chords should sound like an up. Yeah, they should sound like upbeats. Yeah.
I agree with you completely. We're giving it away before.
Let's practice that. Let's practice that.
You don't want to make repeats today, do you?
It's hard when you've done it already 8 times.
That flashing mind leaping ahead.
I hope that in watching the total performance, that you will be able to become enmeshed by our playing, enfolded by our arms, which we're not only using to play the instruments, but to bring you, the listener, to us as we work out the music that the composer has given us to learn and to cherish.